This is the last video in the video series that brought information about the heroic deeds of Hercules, an extraordinary man and hero from Greek mythology.
The fifth labor, to clean the Augean Stables. As the fifth labor, King Eurystheus gave Hercules a difficult and unpleasant challenge. It is one of the kind that seems difficult to complete. Thousands of animals lived in the stable belonging to King Augeas, and it hadn't been cleaned in about 30 years. It was the fifth labor of Hercules to clean the stable completely in one day. Hercules went to King Augeas and said that he would clean the stable within a day if King Augeas would give him 1 out of 10 of the cows, without saying anything about Eurystheus or his labors. King Augeas, who is surprised, thinks that no matter what Hercules says, this is a task that cannot be done in a day. Therefore, promising the requested gift will not be a problem. So King Augeas tells Hercules that if he cleans the stable within a day, he will give the requested reward. Hercules brought the son of King Augeas to show his work. After that, the first thing the hero does is make 2 large openings in the walls on both sides of the stable. After that, the waters of the 2 nearby rivers, Peneus and Alpheus, were dug wide ditches and diverted to the stable. Thus, Hercules is able to wash away all the waste that had been accumulated for 30 years. However, after the completion of the task, King Augeas does not fulfill his promise. Not only that, he even denies that he promised a reward. Then Hercules approaches a judge to judge the matter. The judge calls the son of King Augeas as a witness. The boy testifies that his father promised a reward to Hercules. So the judge decides that King Augeas must pay Hercules. Angered by this, King Augeas banishes both Hercules and his son from the kingdom. Eurystheus refuses to acknowledge that Hercules did the work, because the rivers washed away the waste and Hercules expected payment from King Augeas. Therefore, Eurystheus tells him that there are 6 more tasks left for Hercules to do. Hercules takes revenge by invading the kingdom after completing his 12 labors, killing the king, and handing over the kingship to the son of Augeas, his ally. The 6th labor, the Stymphalian Birds. These killer birds lived around Lake Stymphalos. They are the pets of Ares, the god of war. These birds have bronze beaks, metallic feathers, and are carnivorous birds that excrete toxic feces. Migrating to Arcadia from the Stymphalian lakes, they created great terror by destroying the crops of the inhabitants and killing people. It was up to Hercules to drive them out. Even though Hercules reached this area, he did not know how to get the birds out of the cages. Seeing this, the goddess Athena gave him a pair of loud-sounding crotala made by Hephaestus, the god of metalwork, to help him. Frightened by the sound, the birds came out of their nests and Hercules killed them with poisoned arrows stained with the blood of the Hydra. The 7th labor, the Cretan Bull. King Minos of Crete has promised Poseidon, lord of the sea, to sacrifice whatever comes out of the sea to Poseidon. One day a beautiful bull emerged from the sea. Impressed by the noble appearance of this animal, King Minos secretly kept it among his herds instead of offering it to Poseidon and sacrificed another bull instead. Upon hearing this, Poseidon became extremely angry and drove the creature into a frenzy. It brought great destruction to the island of Crete. The 7th labor of Hercules was to capture this animal. Hercules caught the bull and brought it to King Eurystheus, who soon released the bull. The freed bull has gone to Marathon. The 8th labor, the man-eating horses of Diomedes. The 8th challenge assigned by King Eurystheus was to capture the 4 unruly horses of Diomedes, ruler of the Bistonians. Diomedes was a barbarian king and had accustomed his horses to eat human flesh. Hercules goes to Thrace, captures the wild horses and assigns them to an ally, and goes to battle with King Diomedes. But when he came back, the horses had eaten his companion. Driven by grief, Hercules kills Diomedes and feeds his body to the horses. After the horses calmed down a bit, their mouths were gagged, and they were brought to King Eurystheus, who sacrificed the horses to Hera and set them free. The ninth labor, take the girdle belt of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. The ninth labor was quite complicated. King Eurystheus commissioned the queen of the Amazons to bring the girdle belt. At first Queen Hippolyte accepted Hercules and agreed to give him and her girdle belt for the daughter of King Eurystheus. But Hera disguised herself as an Amazon warrior and said that Hercules had come as an enemy and intended to kidnap the Amazon queen. In the end, Hercules had to fight the Amazon warriors and kill Queen Hippolyte and tear the girdle from her body. The 10th labor, the Cattle of Geryon. Geryon was a giant monster with 3 bodies, 3 heads, 6 arms, and 6 legs. He had a herd of beautiful red-brown cows. Geryon protected his precious herd with the help of another giant and a 2-headed dog. The 10th labor was to bring Geryon's precious herd to King Eurystheus. After many hard battles, Hercules gets the herd of cattle and brings it to King Eurystheus. King Eurystheus says that even though Hercules completed 10 tasks, killing the Lernaean Hydra and cleaning the Augean stable, Hercules did not do it alone. Therefore, to complete the 10 works, it is said that 2 more works must be done. The 11th labor, take the golden apples of the Hesperides. Next, King Eurystheus sent Hercules to steal the golden apple, the wedding gift Hera gave to Zeus. It is said that one who eats them becomes immortal. These golden apples were guarded by 4 nymphs called the Hesperides. The giant Atlas, who carries the heavens on his shoulders, was the father of these Hesperides. Hercules finds the giant Atlas and says that if he can steal some apples for him, he is ready to bear his burden for a little while. However, Atlas, who steals the apple, says he doesn't want to carry the heavens again. But in the end, Hercules manages to trick Atlas and give the heavens back to him. After all that, Eurystheus, seeing Hercules returning with the golden apples, goes into a frenzy because he expected him not to return. 12th labor, capture Cerberus. As a last-ditch effort to kill Hercules, Eurystheus assigns Hercules a seemingly impossible task. That is to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed watchdog of the underworld, without using weapons. The underworld is a place where the living cannot go. It is the realm of Pluto and his wife Hades. And Cerberus was a strange mix of creatures. He had 3 heads of a wild dog, a tail like a dragon and a snake, and heads like snakes all over his back. But according to Hesiod, this extraordinary mythical creature had 50 heads and 8 raw meat. Hercules, who goes to the underworld with the help of the gods Hermes and Athena, meets Hades, its ruler. Hades tells Hercules that if he can capture Cerberus unharmed, he can take the dog to the human world. Hercules agrees to it and fights with the dog and tames it. Then Hercules carrying Cerberus goes to meet King Eurystheus. The king, who is afraid of seeing Cerberus once again, hides in his large bronze jar, promising that if Cerberus is sent back to the underworld, he will release Hercules without assigning any more work. Thus ended the tasks assigned to Hercules. How did the Greek hero Hercules die? After completing these 12 labors, there is no shortage of Hercules' adventures. Battling for control of Mount Olympus, rescuing the Princess of Troy are just a few of them. The death and apotheosis of the Hercules are mentioned in the works of Pindar, as well as the Odyssey, and choral passages from Sophocles and Euripides. Just like the previous marriage, another marriage ultimately led to the death of Hercules. He married Princess Deianira for the 2nd time. In Greek, Deianira means husband killer or man destroyer. A centaur was half man and half horse. He was the ferryman of Evenus River. It was his duty to transport those who needed to cross the river on his back and shoulders. One day, when Hercules was trying to cross the river with Deianira, a centaur tried to kidnap her. An enraged Hercules shot the centaur with a hydra-poisoned arrow. Before dying, the centaur gives this arrow to Deianira. He says that the blood stain from this arrow can be used as a love potion if ever he has to win the heart of Hercules. However, years later, Deianira hears a rumor that Hercules is having an affair. She sends him a garment stained with centaur's blood in the belief that it will win her back his love. But something else happened. The poisonous blood on the robe burned Hercules' skin, causing him great pain. Knowing that he has been poisoned, Hercules builds his own funeral pyre and sets it on fire. After his death, Athena took him to Olympus in her chariot. Eventually becoming a god, Hercules reconciled with Hera, and Hera's daughter Hebe became Hercules' divine wife. Finally, Hercules will spend the rest of eternity with the gods.